My name is Justice. I'm going to moderate today's panel. I'm very excited to have you all here at this great location. Big shout out to the WorldCon team for having us here right at Union Square in San Francisco. We're very excited to have the chance to hear from three people in the space today on their perspective on security and compliance relating to stablecoin and some of the recent evolution of regulation that we've seen.
Hi everyone, my name is Maya and I am head of investigations at Bridge, a Stripe company.
Hi folks, I'm Merkle. I work at Mesta. We're a global fiat plus stablecoin payment company, essentially helping businesses pay across the world using fiat as well as stablecoins using local payment rails.
Hi everyone, my name is Matt. I'm core contributor at ZetaChain. ZetaChain is a layer 1 blockchain with interoperability built into it. So you can connect to all the major blockchains, Ethereum, all the major EVMs, Solana, Tons, Sui, and even Bitcoin.
What are some of the things that you see are stablecoins being used for sanction evasion and for illicit actors transactions?
Stablecoins are revolutionary. However, they come with a set of challenges. So first, sanctions evasion. So bad actors use stablecoins to evade sanctions. So the second would be scam and fraud. This includes elderly financial exploitation, romance scam, identity theft. A lot of times we see that victims are prompted to purchase USDC or USDC across high-risk exchanges using multiple hops like intermediary wallets. So a lot of bad actors use cross-chain bridges to obfuscate the flow of funds and facilitate money laundering. They basically bridge over from one blockchain to another. It is important to invest in a blockchain tool that allows you monitor multi-chain activity.
Citi Research has projected the stablecoin market to grow to 1.9 trillion by 2030. That's 5 years out. Seems like a crazy big number. And I'd love to start with Mesta to get some perspective on how they feel Genius Act has affected the enterprise adoption of stablecoins.
Yeah, with the Genius Act coming in, a lot of this with frameworks in place on how stablecoins can be used. We expect to see enterprise adoption really moving, and we have seen over the last few months a sharp pickup in real world use cases of stablecoins. So we're seeing a lot of companies sort of pay out to their vendors, pay out to their employees, essentially using stablecoins to sort of bypass in a way the cross-border payment leg.
So yeah, thanks so much, Netic, for this. From ZetaChain, Matthew, from an infrastructure standpoint, do you think that cross-chain interoperability can embed any of these compliance checks?
We're very much permissionless, but at the same time, you always want to do what's right.
Seeing liquidity move across chain, I think, is one of the key obfuscation techniques, as Maya mentioned. And if that can somehow stop, then this is a big win from a compliance perspective. You mentioned you have a cross-chain DEX now coming into place. What is kind of the thoughts behind this and having to think about compliance to track liquidity in market makers?
So one thing we've been talking about, as you had mentioned earlier, bridges is a major source of potential source of attack vector for bad actors. We've seen a lot of hacks over the years using bridges to attack. ZetaChain is a little bit different, where we allow, we're basically our own blockchain, so you can have interoperability to all these different chains. So with that, we can have a DEX that builds in all these different versions of stablecoins, such as USDC, USDT, and we can create concentrated pools. So instead of having one-to-one liquidity pairs like we've all seen on Uniswap, we can create these pools to allow very efficient trades using significantly less liquidity. Now, if we scale that up, that should be a way to allow people to move large amounts of money in a very efficient manner. And on top of that, because we are a full stack interoperable layer, so we do messaging, we do the actual token transfer, we can do it securely from one chain to another and being able to oversee every single step. And since we have our own Explorer, you can track the entire transaction from one chain to another and be able to see it out to the other side. So there's a lot more veracity there. So there's much less open attack vectors for hackers to come in and potentially, get your funds after, attack your funds.
Yeah, I mean, cross-chain tracing, I think I've been working with law enforcement since 21. That's one of the key challenges, very time-consuming. very complex, can lead to a lot of mistakes, and that's what the criminal actors take advantage of. So even having a block explorer to be able to do that is already massive help. What's Mesta's approach here in terms of mitigating AML and CFD for those of you who are new to the space, anti-money laundering or counter-terrorist financing?
So the first thing we do is making sure during KYB we're not only running a full analysis on the vendor, on the customer themselves, but also running all of their source wallets through, say, Merkle Science, to ensure that we're screening any wallet that they're sending funds from. Then the second level that we get to is transaction monitoring itself. Make sure that we're going as far back as about 10-12 hops to make sure that any funds coming in, any traces of funds coming in aren't associated with any illicit actors. Then we've also got a bunch of rules that we run on on not just one but multiple transactions that are coming in, right? So making sure there's no structuring happening, making sure that the funds are being sent to a related party, so asking for invoices for the beneficiary, establishing a relationship between a sender and the beneficiary. All of this gets super important to us. Making sure that we're on top of reporting, right? So ensuring that any transaction that's flagged as suspicious, in case we have to take action, we not only take the appropriate action, we're also sort of creating a SAR, which is suspicious activity report, and reporting it to the authorities. So
very comprehensive. So what I'm hearing is it's post-settlement, but even more importantly, pre-screening before transactions actually being allowed. And I think that's something that we see a big misconception in the space where people think nothing can be stopped on the blockchain. But I think these days there's so many ways of pre-screening before things actually go through, which does make it a lot safer and prevents taints in your wallets and your companies that can lead to a lot of uncomfortable questions during audits from regulators that you perhaps want to avoid in the first place. What do you guys' take on multi-vendor approach for compliance and security, maybe more broadly?
The starting point for any organization is to use one primary vendor. Ensure you're setting up a very deep compliance program with them. And then sort of as you scale with them and as you scale across multiple chains, if your provider isn't the best, for instance, in those blockchains, then it becomes useful to have sort of a backup provider or another provider that, can help you.
Yeah, so I think regulators do like multi-level validation and multi-source validation. I think it doesn't hurt. And also, if you think of it from a business continuity perspective, if one tool goes down, the other one can be working. So that's another thing to consider.
Just one follow-up. Do you think we're going to have a multi-chain stablecoin?
Well, ZetaChain does offer universal tokens. So on ZetaChain, you can mint a stablecoin, and that would actually be deployed on Ethereum, on Polygon, on Solana, just as a token. So you can move it back and forth, and it will be moved atomically. So you can keep track of it from the entire process, going from Ethereum to Solana, and it can move back and forth seamlessly. So at ZetaChain, we have the ability to do that. And I think that's a pretty strong case for us in the future.
Yeah, super, super excited about that. Can't wait to see it. And thank you so much, everyone, for listening in.